على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. This is part 2 of this parts session, 2 parts topic about my personal journey to achieve certain goals. And we named it Journey to PhD because this is the one big thing, you know, a topic that attracts everybody. But that's actually not the intention of the session. The intention of the session last week and this week, and I advise everybody to listen to last week. You know, if you did not listen to last week, please go and listen to it. So this is to share the personal experience so everybody can benefit from. And to summarize or to refresh our memories, last time we talked about how leaders in general and religious leaders in particular, their private life is not actually like everybody else's private life. So private life is basically, most of it is public. Whether they like it or they don't like it, you know, it doesn't matter. And even if you try to have privacy and have your personal things, this is their curiosity, you know, this is their interest. Whether it is a good thing or a bad thing, this is not for me to judge. But by default, everybody wants to know what is happening to the Sheikh, what is happening in his life, and why this is happening in their life. Subhanallah, the irony is, one of the, that member of the community who thinks like that does not want the same to happen to him. The brother or the sister, they do not want the same to happen to them, and they do not want the same question to be asked to them. They don't want that. You know, why are you doing this? Or why nobody wants that question to be asked to them. But everybody feels like, because, you know, the Sheikh is a Sheikh and the scholar, this is their right to do that. Well, part of it is your right, but most of it is not. Part of it is your right to know, but most of it is not. النبي صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم قال من حسن إسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعنيه. Out of the goodness of your faith, a sign of the goodness of your faith is to leave what is of no concern to you. Now you say, it is my concern. Then my question will be, in what way? My life is your concern, in what way? It can be. It should be actually. But in what way? In what way? Exactly. As a role model. What else? You want to make sure that I'm good. Yeah? So you are concerned about my well-being. If that is your concern, then you will actually want the information that helps you with that concern. But if you just want information for the sake of knowledge, what are you going to do with it? The gossip, right? This is what gossip is. Correct? You know, this actor married from this actress, and what? وبعدين what is your benefit from that? Nothing. So this piece of information, علم لا ينفع وجهل لا يضر. The knowledge will not benefit you, and the ignorance will not harm you. Yeah? If you look at me now, your concern about my marriage is what? Like what you're concerned about my marriage. How is my marriage concerning to you? What should you're concerned about my marriage life? I want you to tell me.
Nothing.
There is. There is concern that everything is going fine, right? That you are, alhamdulillah, how are you and your family? We ask each other that, right? How are you? How is the family? Correct? That's a concern, right? I am concerned. Why I'm asking that question? Out of brotherhood, I want to make sure you are, my brother, happy. You're good. You have a good life. Now, if I feel that you will help me when I have an issue, I tell you, Wallahi, akhi, everything is fine, but I'm having an issue. You see now? It's coming from me. I am the one who is inviting you in. It is not you having the right to jump in. There is difference here. واضح يا اخوانا? Clear? So it is not. And if you are not allowed to jump in without my permission, you are not allowed to talk about it either. I hope this lesson is very clear. أحب لأخيك ما تحب لنفسك. لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. None of you is a complete believer until you love for your brother what you love for yourself. الصحابة when the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was married at his wife's. Mad at, not happy at his wife, was not satisfied, having an issue with his wife. They saw Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam unhappy. Did any one of them dared to interfere? None. You know what they were doing? They were sitting beside the member crying. Sahaba al-Kiram, men يعني, the men of power that you hear about, they were sitting beside the member crying. Why they are crying? It's not because our leader's marriage, our messenger is not happy. شوف الconcern? There's two different concerns, right? One concern, I wanted the details. Why she did do that? Why is this? Why that? This is a concern. People are concerned and they act like that. Concern is valid. Your concern is justified as a brother. But what you're going to do for that, that is what's going to count. What you're going to say is what's going to count. How you're going to help is what's going to count, right? Even when you have good intention, does not mean necessarily that you're going to end up with good results. Do you know that? Yeah? Sometimes even a lawyer with a bad intention, he helps. He helps in the case. Because he looks at it as business, right? But his intention is not to actually help you. Their intention is to take money, right? But they get the job done at the end of the day. And someone who is good and praying with you and have good intentions, but they don't have experience or they do not have the right steps to do, they end up damaging it. Now, let alone somebody who actually wants to damage it. I hope you understand what I'm saying here, because it's a very, very sensitive topic. Yeah. Because once you understand, once those who are attending this lecture, you come up with a clear understanding, said, oh, that is an eye-opener for me. Be extra careful, because marriage and divorce, those are big deals. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's not a joke to be married. It's not a joke to be divorced. Those are big, major decisions in one's life. One builds and one destroys. One brings people to be the closest and one brings people apart. One that produces children who are healthy between two parents, and one actually, the biggest problem is the kids. They will suffer more than anyone else. Their life will never be the same, whether it is too good or too bad. But their parents are not together, regardless what kind of parents they have. Regardless. This is not the point now. The point is, we have children growing between a father and a mother. Those father and mother can be ideal, can be the worst, can be here and there, but there is a father and a mother in their life. You have to deal with that margin, of goodness and badness. Or one of them is dead, or both are dead. That also the children have to deal with that trauma. Or they are both alive, but they are divorced. Or both alive and they are abusive or bad. So who is the one affected more than anyone else in this situation? Thank you. And now if you do not have the proper advice, the proper knowledge, the proper qualification to handle that, whom you're going to hurt the most? Not only the children of that family. You are hurting how this community will look like in 20 years. Think about it. If you are the cause in the divorce of two people, that means you are the cause of 2, 3 children, 4 children, that they are growing into the community because of that. There is a big relationship in statistics now. There's a big relationship between higher divorce rate and higher suicide rate among teenagers. Think about that. Now we're talking about marriage as a personal deal, Marriage as a personal deal. Is death also a personal deal? People can take their life whenever they want? But you see, sometimes you do not evaluate the things properly. Marriage is not only your personal issue. Marriage affects the society around you. So if people think that relationship between man and woman, or two men or two women, whatever it is, the relationship is something personal, no. Allah Azza wa Jal made Adam and Hawa married for a reason. That this is going to continue like that. That relationship is intended to be like that for the sake of humanity. All this humanity is a result of what? Of a marriage. He did not say Adam and Hawa, you are companions. He did not say that, subhanahu wa ta'ala. He did not create both of them at the same time. He created Adam first to be the head of the household. And when he addressed, he did not address قَالَ ادْخُلَا الْجَنَّةِ. No, when he accounted them for the sin, he accounted them both. When Shaitan addressed them, he addressed them both. مَا نَهَاكُمَا رَبُّكُمْ عَنْ تِلْكُمُ الشَّجَرَةِ. Allah did not forbid both of you. You see, when it comes to ta'lim, when it comes to duties, man and woman are the same. You see what I'm saying? Same from the very beginning. Allah said, Alam anhakuma, didn't I tell you both? And Arabic is very, very specific in pronouns. You cannot say he was addressing one of them only. He was addressing two. Right? But, subhanallah, when Allah Azza wa Jal ordered them to enter Jannah, He said, وَقُلْنَا يَا آدَمْ أُسْكُنْ أَنْتَ وَزَوْجُكَ الْجَنَّةِ. You dwell into the Jannah with your wife. He did not say, Hawa, enter Jannah with your husband. Or he did not say, now your husband and wife both enter Jannah. No. From the beginning, Allah Azza wa Jal said how it should be done. I'm not talking here about gender equality in the sense that people, no. I'm telling you from the Quran how it is. Look at it and tell me what you understand. You look at it and tell me what you understand. From the beginning, Allah Azza wa Jal intending this to be. So our very existence is based on marriage. That's what the point I'm trying to get into. Marriage means life. Because Allah intended life of humanity to continue through what? This institution of family. Institution of family, and now a man and a woman will have children. They can have children without marriage, can't they? Yes or no? Yes, they can. Any male and female will have children. Yani healthy, will have children. But what is the difference? Kalima, word. In marriage, according to the book of Allah, Sunnah of Rasulullah, all divine messages before that, according to Allah and Allah's word. Because you don't take Allah's word in vain, right? So you have to do it in the name of Allah. That's the word. Makes the whole difference. Yes, it does. When we say suicide because of divorce rate, now you know the relationship. Means life with a marriage rate also. If you have healthy marriages, you'll have good lives. I hope you understand this point here. Because if statistics shows me that the more divorce rate goes, the more children commit suicide. What does that mean? The less divorce rate, the less suicide. Or suicide for another reason, not for this reason. Make sense now? So when I see suicide is going like this, and the divorce is going like this, then the speed of divorce increases, and the speed of suicide also increases. That means there has to be something going on. And that's why in my research I said, everybody said, Sheikh, what is the subject of your thesis? I said, divorce. He said, A'udhu Billah. I said, like, why? And why? If somebody come and say that I'm doing my thesis in criminology or like in forensics, I said, oh, disgusting, man, that you're gonna deal with. Look to why they are doing it. What is the goal? Yani those who study anatomy on a cadaver or the body of somebody, do they like do they enjoy? Are they like going there to enjoy cutting somebody and mashallah having a party now? Like say, ew, why? You say that because that's what you think. What you think is somebody sitting there and dissecting someone is a horrible thing, yeah? It is actually a horrible thing, but you did not ask yourself why this person is doing it and why that person is doing it. Like a murderer, a serial killer doing it, then yes, you should be terrified. Yeah? But if somebody in the coroner's office doing it, now you should be actually thankful. Why? Because they are finding reasons to avoid crime. So when I'm studying divorce, why the divorce is happening, why this is happening, is not to encourage people, yallah, my customers, I want you to, the more divorce, the more money I make. You think? Maybe, but this is not my cause, yani. The idea is how to prevent that. How to prevent that. And how to make sure it is understood within its own context and when it is actually needed. And how it should be done. So that's very important when I told you about the private life and understanding what is happening. So the idea is to learn something as a community. Since my personal life is not always personal, so I would rather use it in a positive way. That was the intention of these 2 lectures. Is that clear so far? We also talked about the idea of being people busy with their own thing and not to interfere. We talked about that as well. And sometimes, and last time I think I pushed a little bit hard because I got feedback, Sheikh, you were pushing hard as if you were talking to somebody specifically. I said, no, I was not talking to somebody specifically. But if that reached there, that means there was somebody specifically. Think about it, right? If somebody feels that this is addressed for somebody specifically, so that means there is somebody specifically. There's somebody who's doing that. And you're afraid that if I do extra, I get hurt. I get hurt from that person. That actually proves my point. Doesn't it? Doesn't it? When somebody comes and says, Sheikh, please next time don't talk that hard because you don't want to get hurt from this type of people. I said, oh well, that type of people, this type of people exist then. Of course exists. I said, okay, all right, I achieved my goal then. When people get affected or it becomes very realistic, that means it is very realistic. All right? So it's very important to understand that as well. Also, I talked about the issue of polygyny or second marriages and all of that. And I told you openly and clearly, don't entertain the idea. It is not because it is something haram. No, it is because you're not ready for it. Not everything you're allowed to do, that means you're ready for it. And when you see people using Quran in both sides to prove something, you know that both of them are not ready. Especially in that one. So a man will say, مثنى وثلاثة ورباع 2, 3, and 4. MashaAllah, you are lying. Good. Right? Yes, brother, go ahead. Yalla, represent us. So why you are not representing yourself? This is a personal issue. Go represent yourself. Everybody wants somebody to do it. So when they get hurt, oh, it's not me. Honey, I did not do it. I told him not to do it, but he did it. And if it succeeds, you see, it's working. I want to do the same. But that's not ready now. Does not know, does not realize that big deal responsibility. Aside from the legal repercussions, of course, when you are in the West and all of that, be careful not to do that. Also from the other side, Allah Azza wa Jal said, and if you are afraid, then you only marry one. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you are not going to be able to be fair to two, وَلَن تَسْتَطِيعُوا أَن تَعْدِلُوا بَيْنَ النِّسَاءِ وَلَوْ حَرَصْتُمْ. One of my question is this an ayah of the Quran? Yes. Isn't the other one ayah of the Quran? Yes. Who revealed them is the same one? Yes. طيب, which one we take? For real which one should I apply? بالعقل بالراحة. Because each one is using. One is using the one that do it, and the one is using the other one, don't do it. It's both Quran, yeah? That means what is the problem here? What is the problem? Understanding, right? Understanding. Why there is a problem with understanding? We are all smart. We are all smart. We know the tafsir. We know what does it mean, right? But that means there is prejudice in both sides. There is bias. Bias, yeah. There is bias. That one wants to do it, and that one is scared from doing it. So each one is trying to, but that's not the way. That tells you both are not ready. Men and women of our time, they are not ready for that. They're not. Even you are financially ready and all that, you're not. So don't think about this issue. It's not going to work. And I told you, even if you have all parties agree, sitting on the table, you're my first, you're my second, and if you are, mashallah, you are my third, and you are my fourth. كله كده agree, and let's have that, it's not going to work. I'm just telling you from experience. Even if you reach that commitment, agreement on the table, community will not accommodate it. Because the community is not ready. Community also is made of other men and women who are married. Yes? Yes or no? If someone does it, it's either they fail or they succeed, correct? مش كده possibilities aren't those the two possibilities? If they fail, what is the rest will do? See, we're all nice. These people are wrong. If it succeeds, then what? What's the next step now? It succeeded, right? We are humans, correct? We follow examples. It's not going to work. Because everybody's going to fight you. Good people, not bad ones. Because they're not comfortable. They're not ready for it. So also we talked about that. I know it's a very sensitive topic, but we just talk about it, right? We have to talk about it. So you understand before you take a step, you know exactly how dangerous is that step, even if it is a good step, halal step, agreed upon step. But realistically speaking, is it going to survive or not? Most likely not. فلا تبني قصرا وتهدم مصرا. عارف المصر city. Don't build a palace and in the process you destroy the town. Don't do that. I hope everybody understands what I'm trying to say here. Also, concepts and perceptions in any marriage or any study are very important. What is the major thing I see between husbands and wives? That they do not talk about that. Everybody have perception and expect the other person to have the same perception. Again, I'm going to say that. I am expecting certain things, and I don't know, there is a hidden kind of feeling that the other person have supernatural powers that they will read my mind. Makes sense to you or la, ikhwani? Yeah, sisters. Sometimes you think like that. Like, why he did not tell me honey or I love you today. That means he's wrong. So you read his mind, you already assumed, you judged. Why she did not do what she did all the time. You're coming tired from work, you are expecting someone to be dressed nice and having perfume and having all these kind of things. Yeah, I know, this is the way we all should do. But if you did not get what you were thinking, how the other person would read your mind knowing that's what you want today? How? لازم تتكلم. صح? It's either you talk about what you want, both husband, wife. We talk, by the way, I like you when you do such and such and such and such. Let's have some time today to do such and such and such. Let's sit and talk about that. إيه المشكلة في كده? We don't do that. And then it becomes bigger when the other person does not meet your expectation that you never talked about. That's number one. Or at least do lots of good so the other person gives you lots of good back. Undefined, but lots of good comes back. You give love, you get love. You get this from a normal person, of course. Right? You put good, you get good. You put bad, you get bad. Whatever you invest. Right? Whatever you invest, both for husband and wife. So please make sure about this concept. And I'm telling you from things that not necessarily I did. No, I am telling you most of the things I did not. So I'm telling you don't. Alright? Don't do these things. So it was not done, whether it's me or the other side, but I'm telling you those are things that they needed work. Alright? But already it's too late. Khalas, finish. The thing is cut off, amputated. Alright? So I'm telling for those who have issues or anything, talk about it. Have the courage to talk about it. Don't delay until tomorrow. Tonight. Start talking tonight. Sometimes, Dialogue. Sometimes things will take years, by the way. Because it took years to have the problem. It will take years also to solve the problem. But start talking about it. Don't hide things in your heart and thinking the other side will get it. Will get it. Will not. Now, setting goals and objectives. This is a daily thing. You should have it. If I ask any one of you, what is your goal in life? Can anybody volunteer tell me? You please Allah. Yes, I know that. We will all please Allah Azza wa Jalla. But what's your goal in life? One sentence. Anybody can volunteer? See how simple is the question? Be happy. Be happy? You got yourself in trouble now, Ayman. Huh? What if you live without happiness? Means your life was worthless? Because what is happiness, right? Like, what is happiness at the end? Happiness means, are you satisfied with what you have? Or happiness means there is some pleasure in there? Or happiness is the kind of that feeling that you are satisfied, that people got what they want? What is happiness? Because if you cannot define the goal that you are running behind, means you have no goal. Yes? That's the akhirah. Akhirah, uncle. I know, I understand that. I get it, 100%. But what's your goal in life, practically speaking? You see? It's hard, isn't it? What's your goal in life? Give me one sentence. يعني أنت عايش كده? Yeah, I know you please Allah, but what's your goal in life? To build a hospital? To have a big house? What is your ultimate goal? يعني realistically, physically, materially speaking, what's your ultimate goal?
To be as impactful as I can be.
Thank you. See? That is a goal now that you can keep working every single day on. And you will never ever have enough of it.
What did he say?
Say it again, Abu Hamid.
To be as impactful as I can be.
To be as impactful and effective as you can be. So your goal is not yourself, end of the day. See, when I asked you, I said, what is your goal? And that's why everybody think me. You see the psychology here? See, I already confined you. My question already framed you. And be careful when that question is asked. ماشي يا اخواني? You understand what I'm saying? When somebody says, what is your ultimate goal? So everybody think about me benefiting, how I see myself benefiting in the future. But nobody thought how I benefit others. That's actually a goal that it keeps giving. It's ever giving. It will not stop even after you die. أو عمل صالح أو ولد صالح يدعو له. All other things. Impactful. Wherever I am going, I'm like rain. Somebody will benefit from my advice. I will help somebody. I'll give somebody a gift. I'll give somebody a dua. I'll do a smile. I'll take somebody's hand. I raise my children. I love my spouse. Effective. And that is a goal in the dunya. Of course you are doing it to please Allah and get to Jannah. Yeah? But that should be the goal. Goal is about others. The goal is always about, only a smart person would do that. You know why? Because when you invest in others, you see how much the return is. When you invest in yourself, you only get a little bit. Yeah? Because now you defined only 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 100. Those are the things I only get happy through. Whenever one is closed, you are miserable. Yeah? But imagine it, I'm going to make this one happy, and this one happy, and this one happy. If one fails, no problem, because you are making other people happy. Yeah? And when they are happy, they're making dua for you. When they are happy, they are thankful to you. Yeah? When they are happy, they take the gift and give it to someone else, make them happy, and you get sadaqah jariyah. That's smart, isn't it? So, yeah, it's very important. So I want you, inshallah, to listen to these things again and try to write this information. It took me 20 plus years to get them. So this is not, I don't want you to look to it lightly, please. So make me feel happy, inshallah, that you benefited from what I'm saying. Because it's from my heart. I'm really concerned. It is from my heart. I see lots of community members, many community members, their marriage is hanging by a thread. It's out there, And subhanallah, it can be the strongest marriage in the community. If they figure out few things only. But they're not. So they assume, or the illusion is, we have problems. You don't have a problem, actually. Sometimes it takes very little, tiny thing to fix. Now, in any family, akhwani, you need an authority figure. This is a two people unit. Father and a mother, husband and wife. Let's say husband and wife, 2 units. And they're making decisions for both of them and for others, like children, if they have children, right? In any logically speaking. In any organization that have board of trustees, if you read how to form a board of trustees, they're always an odd number. Yeah? Right, Brother Reza? Why? Tiebreaker, right? There has to be a tiebreaker. So there has to be one decision affects everybody. صح? Am I right? If it is 5, we understand. If it's 3, we understand. Our marriage is only between 2, not 3. يعني. 5 people don't get married together. That would be a mess, right? So it's 2 people. So how they make decisions? How they make decisions? في 2 الآن. How decisions will be made? Someone has to have 2 voices. So the husband said, I agree and disagree at the same time. And the wife said, well, I'll take your disagreement over your agreement. So I am the tiebreaker. It doesn't work like that. So, because at least one time, one important decisions that they will both have different opinions. Absolutely, it's going to happen. So in this case, what are you going to do?
Sacrifice.
You have to sacrifice. So who's the sacrificing person? The one who acquiesces. The one who comes down. That means the person. So would this happen in a situation by situation, or it has to happen across the board? It has to happen across the board. Why? Because you are dealing with revelation. You are dealing with order that's coming from above. So it's not about you, or it's not about me or my spouse here. It is about enforcing what pleases Allah Azza wa Jal. We have no issue in that. The issue is that whenever there is a gray area, or whenever something is not clear halal and not clear haram. Because if a husband, he has the leadership and he wants to adopt the clear haram, his wife say no, of course not. Wife has to obey the husband, the good one, the pious one, the one who fears Allah. But if somebody who is not, she's not obligated to obey him. And that's something people have to understand. Yeah. It's not like you obey your husband, you're my wife, you have to obey me. So you don't actually pray. How is she going to obey you? Yeah. You don't actually fear Allah Azza wa Jal. How she's going to obey you? You tell her, don't leave the house. Yani you are not obeying Allah. And you want me to obey you? So I'm going to the masjid. No, don't go. I am your husband. You have to listen to me. Otherwise, Allah is angry with you. And Allah is not angry with you, mashallah, for what you do. But the idea here is, this obedience is not obeying the man in him. It's not obeying the male in him. You're not. You are obeying Allah Azza wa Jal through him being the tiebreaker, the authority figure when there is an issue. And he's responsible about that, although you should be happy actually, not fighting it. Somebody relieved you from that issue. You have to define your goals all the time. All the time you have to define your goals, especially when you are in trouble. Yani those who are going through divorce or went through divorce, that is the most vulnerable time to you. That is when you need to sit and write goals. We said the main goal to be as impactful as possible. How are you going to be impactful if you are weak? How? Can you? Can you affect others? You will affect others actually negatively. Because everywhere you go, you're going to be crying and making people's lives miserable. Sahih? Yeah, that's what we see around. What we see around, somebody lost a family member, somebody went through divorce, somebody like that. They always complain about what they are going through, but everybody else have a life too. So you are not impactful now. You are actually negatively impactful to others. Right? So the idea here is, at that time you need to set goals to build yourself so you become impactful. Because this is the time, this is your lowest. You need to set the goal how to climb out of that deep well that you were thrown at. Right? So this is a very important one. Set goals. And when I said you have to be strong to be impactful, you have to be strong mentally, so you have to see a psychiatrist and a therapist. And I tell people that all the time. You have to see someone. This is the language of our time now. Before you can talk to a hakim, or you talk to a religious person, or you talk to your father, or your uncle, or your grandfather, or the tribe leader. We don't have that here, do we? I wish we do. I wish we do. I wish people actually come and take my advice, and they take it because I have the authority as the Za'im of the Qabila. Yani. I am the leader of the tribe, and I know if Muhammad asks me, Walad ya Muhammad, you have to do such and such. I said, yes sir. Yes sir. And he does it. But we don't have that. So I said, Sheikh, what should I do? Should do such and such. I don't like it. Let me go to someone else. This is the life we are in now. Sah. Exactly. So that's why I'm telling you the language is go see a therapist. Well, that's what I can tell you. What else? I wish I have the authority upon you. I wish you give me the authority. I'm not saying because I want to be a dictator. I'm telling you someone has to have authority. And I myself set a goal to myself. There are certain limitations beyond which I will not take decisions for myself. You want me to repeat that again? There is a line for me in certain things relating to my life. I said I cannot take a decision for myself on my own. I have to ask my dad or my mentor. Whatever they say, I'm going to do at that limit. Before that, I can decide because I'm in the right state of mind, right? When I reach a certain state of mind, khalas, I'm done. I know any decision I do is going to be a problem. So they could tell me, no, don't say that. So I stay quiet. See, I give somebody the authority to manage me at that moment. I hope you understand the seriousness of that. And that's what marriage is all about. To trust someone to the point that, you know what, you decide. I'll follow. Sometimes it will be wrong, but following is the issue. Giving someone that authority because they are in the right state of mind. Uncle, what do you think about this? Wallah, Sheikh, I advise you, to wait a little bit. Even though I'm excited to do, I'll wait a little bit. I give him that authority. So one of your, techniques that you have to have someone like that in your life. When you reach a limit that you cannot think properly, or you are confused, or you are down, or you are depressed, ask someone, you tell me, I'll follow it. You tell me, I'll follow it.
But he is also a sick person now. Confused.
Yeah, but no, you have to ask somebody who knows, not someone who is sick. Yani. Or someone have to decide for that person. We have as a community also, you see someone like that, you tell him this is what you need to do. I know it's very complicated because we don't have a social system here. You don't have a social system to make an intervention. Also, Ikhwani, one of the major things that affects problems, besides not having goals, when you don't have goals, not having a strategy of life, especially in finances. Sometimes the husband is a very good money managing person. Sometimes it's the opposite, right? But you know where is the problem? This is not the problem. The problem is the other person in the other extreme. Yani husband is understanding and everything, but the wife does not have even financial literacy. Does not know how to balance a checkbook, does not know what credit card means, what is the system, what is the score, what is this and what is that. Sometimes I see sisters thinking that that piece of plastic have money inserted in it. Yani if you cut it like this, it will drop money in it. My kids think like that sometimes. I tell them, well, I don't have money. Baba, you have the card. Just swipe. Musa and Harun think like that. Because concept is not there, right? There is money and there is a card. Baba, when he does not have money, he does like this and we get the ice cream. Unfortunately, that is the thinking of some sisters like this. They go there and not even bother to check if there is a balance in the account or not, if the credit is maxed or not. They don't. Husband will take care of it. On the flip side, you have, mashallah, some sisters who are amazing in managing things. But husband on the other side, he brings the salary, here you go. You figure it out, honey. How you figure it out? He gives her the money and said, where is the kebab today? Where is the, biryani today? How I'm going to cook for you biryani and kebab and all of this thing, and you just give me this much? Wadah. And that is a problem. That's a problem that caused many marriages to fail, believe it or not. That's simple. So actually, financial literacy is something that Masajid need to work on, giving, and husband and wife need to sit and discuss those things. Important. And that's why I'm suggesting from the beginning of the marriage, within the marriage or before the marriage, there has to be a marriage contract. Not only prenup or postnup, that's another issue, but a marriage contract of understanding. The finances of the house, who's going to manage this thing and who's going to do that, and we all understand. We have to understand things. That's why billionaires advise people, every financially successful household, the man should have an account for himself, the wife should have an account for herself, and they should have a joint account in the middle. And sometimes even they go even further. They said one account for donations and stuff like that, good charity and stuff. And one account is for the kids' expenses, and the joint account is for everything else. Why they do that? To be clear about every penny coming and every penny going. Where is it? Where is it? Talk to an accountant and get your life in shape. Please do. Right? All of you here. Get your life in shape and have some basics of savings. Have some basics of savings. And it's amazing, by the way. And there are a lot of financial advisors in our community. It's amazing. You will see what $10 would do. What $50 a month in saving would do if you are 20 years old by the time you retire. You will be surprised. It is $50. You do it in an investment account, halal investment account, Learn those things. We need to teach our daughters these things because they become wives. Our sons these things because they become husbands. Also, one of the major things also that affected my marriage and that I want everybody to take care of it. What is marriage? What is marriage to you? Is it a responsibility? Is it a liability? Is it a prison? Believe me, sometimes if you think like that, it's going to become like that. If you think marriage is a limitation to your freedom, it's going to become a limitation to your freedom, and you're not going to be happy. It is, because it is actually a limitation to your freedom, yes? But if you take that as a good thing, then actually you're going to go get married. I want limitations to my freedom. A young man who's not married, a young woman who's not married, marriage is limitation to your freedom. So what? So don't get married. That means what? That means your understanding of freedom is actually wrong. Yeah? You want to follow your lusts and desires without any confinement. That's why you hate marriage. But if you think about, I need limitations to those lusts and desires, so I need to get married, then marriage becomes a good thing. Yeah? And when you are in marriage and they say, somebody is always keeping me in check, that's an amazing thing. That is good. Oh, I have a husband who cares about me. Believe me, this is a great thing for you, sister. That someone is jealous. Someone who loves you. Someone who does not want the other eyes to eat you. He wants you to be dressed properly. He wants you to be good. Take it from that perspective. Don't take it, oh, you are judging me. You are doing my freedom. I feel like a child. You are his baby. Come on, what are you talking about? He tells you baby all the time. You are like a child. You should be like a child. He should be like a child. You should pamper each other. You should take care of each other. What's wrong with that? Huh? And when you have a wife who is always concerned, why you did not talk to me from job? Why you did this? Take it in a good sense. She cares about you. There is a human being who cares about you. All these women out, do they care about you like this one? Do they? Why should they? Why should every other woman in the community care about you? As a husband, yeah. Why? And by the way, the unfortunate part is that many husbands and many wives, they want others to care about them, not their spouse. When their spouse started caring about them, they feel bad. Yeah? They feel like, my freedom is stepped on. But when somebody give a comment outside, ooh, it's great. What do you want? Man, mashallah, dressed كده وsuit and tie وحاطط perfume وكده, and one sister said, mashallah, you are an amazing brother. He would be like, But if his wife tells him that, he says, you don't know anything. If his wife tells him, mashallah, you look handsome, you look beautiful, he says, are you crazy? What are you talking about? What do you want? You want my credit card? What do you want? Why are you telling me this? And if the wife compliments, that wives become scared of their husbands. They're scared to give them a compliment. They're scared. So who else should she give a compliment? Who is the other man that she should give a compliment other than you? Who's the other woman that you can give a compliment about her body or about how looks? Or who? Who? Who's the other one that you can actually describe her physically? Can you do that to your daughter? About your mom? Can you talk about body to your mom? Tell her your body this and your body that? Can you do that? But you can do it to your wife. Yes? So why you're not doing that? Do that. I told you these lectures are going to be very important, right? Do that. And don't be ashamed of it. This is the person that you should not be ashamed with. Say whatever you want. Anything you think about it to do in haram, do it in halal. And we teach that to our children, inshallah Rabbil Alameen. That whenever we talk about children, it's a very important thing. And unfortunately, through divorce, children become a tool. Instead, they become the focus of both of them. That let's finish this relationship of husband and wife, but we stay as good fathers and mothers, and we actually have to double our efforts. Because when the two are married, right? One, have shortcomings, the other one completes, right? Right? Yani when the husband is very busy, oh children, your father is busy and all of that, and she takes over, right? And if the father is traveling, she does that. And if the mother is sick, the husband takes over, right? Correct? Because they complete each other. But now they are separate from each other. So they need what? Each one of them need to be the father and the mother whenever the children with. Instead, subhanallah, people use the kids as tools. And they talk negative about each other, thinking that they will win the children to their side. Well, this is not a war. You cannot win the children as your allies. They are your children. They are your children. That's why whenever someone, even the worst of things, you say, she's your mom. Did you talk to your mom today? Did you call your mom? But she did this. Don't worry about that. He's your dad. He's a very good dad. But he did this to you. It's not your problem. You see what I'm saying? Never use the kids as tools, because you make a whole generation that is messed up. They hate the institution of marriage. They do not respect the other gender. They do not respect authority. They feel betrayed, and it is going to affect all the marriages that will happen in the next decade or two. Well, that's why in the United States, the rate of divorce among married people is 53%. 53%. And the second marriage is 67%. And third marriages is over 75%. It's supposed to be the opposite. Psychologically speaking, when somebody got divorced, when they go to the next marriage, they understand exactly what went wrong, so they fix it, right? So basically, the chances of divorce should go down, because now you know. Now you went through an experience. That's what sanity is. But guess what? It goes downhill. Why? Because we repeat the same problems plus extras. Plus extra new ones. Because everybody think like by just remarrying, I'm succeeding. This is the biggest, I'm sorry to say, dumbest idea in the world. Like, I will succeed if I get married again. You will actually fail big time, because you will not think. You just want to get married to prove that you still can get married. And that's why I advise everybody who just got divorced, don't get married at once. Even though Sunnah is the opposite. Sunnah, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, if I have one day left in my life, I will like to marry, so I die as a married person, not as a. And they divorce and they marry next day. They don't want to spend one night single. But that's in their context. Right? In our context now, take time until you work on yourself first. We talked about money and finances, community exposure, circle of friends, very important. Circle of friends. You need to know who are your friends at the time of hardship. There are friends only at the time of goodness. Be careful. There's 3 types of friend. صديق اللذة وصديق المنفعة والصديق المخلص. خلي بالك. في صاحب اللذة, the one that you have fun with. There are certain people, where is that guy, to tell us his jokes and stuff. Like in the class, we used to have the joker of the class, right? فده لذة كده، واحد بيعمل جو يعني he does certain things فده benefit. طيب the second one is منفعة. I am with because I benefit such and such. If that benefit is out, I'm not there. You get it? And each one of us of course have these two types. There is no way you don't have it. If you look carefully, you're going to find that there is someone, it's either you are with them or they are with you because they're happy time. All right? You are with them or they are with you because there is a benefit. The benefit is not only money, by the way. There's some benefit you get from being with. والصديق المخلص is the one not always agreeing with you. صديقك من صدقك وليس من صدقك. Your friend is the one who tells you the truth, not agreeing with everything you say. If you are with somebody only because they agree with you, this is not the good one that who will pick your hand up when you are down. That's not the one. He wants you to be good and healthy and everything, so they are fine. The minute you have a problem, they are the furthest from you. And I'm sure those who went through divorce know exactly what I'm talking about. Only if you went through divorce, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. You know? So that's what it is. Your friend is not going to sell you no matter what. For Allah's sake, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Actually, they will be more with you when you are down. They care. You know, somebody who cares. And you will only find one or two, maximum three in your life like this. I'm not talking about family members here. Family members function in a different way. My brother or my sister, we may disagree, we may have a problem, but one of us is in a problem, you give your life. خلاص, يعني this is not an issue. That's not the issue. They function in a different criteria. Family members function in different criteria. I'm talking about your friends who do not have blood relationship. Nothing keeps them closer to you except if they are sincere or not. You will know them when you are in that situation. Also, one of the things that I want everybody to understand is your legal system. Understand the legal system very well. Don't tell me, Sheikh, يعني, why you are saying this, I'm not going through divorce. لا, actually you do it so you do not get into divorce. You should know the legal system, how it works. You know, if you Google, you know, the divorce procedure in Texas, you will be surprised what comes out in the search. You will find flow charts. You will find people give advice. You will find people saying, if you are thinking about divorce, come to us. We're going to coach you. Amazing. Now on the other side, try to find like marriage help. You find way less. So you know this, and you should learn also how to do that. Now, how to achieve your goals? You have to have a plan. You have to have a strategy. You have to have resources. You have to have a timeline, and you have to have a support system. خلي بالكم يا اخوانا, and I'm not saying professional stuff, I'm saying from personal experience. يعني. You have to have goals. My goal is to come back again from this financial mess and work on my finances. Let's say this is a goal, right? So you're going to pay your debt. How you going to do that? You're going to talk to a financial advisor until you achieve your goal and put a timeline. It's going to be 3 years from now. Resources, I'm going to talk to an accountant, download this app, I'm going to do this and this and this. And you have to have a strategy, how you're going to make objectives and how you're going to go about it. What if something changes? What if this? What if that happens, right? So you need to talk to somebody professional, an accountant and the lawyer and the sheikh and all of this kind of thing. That's the goal, to get over this problem, finances, that divorce caused you. Okay, I am going to work on my kids. This is relationship. I want to work on them, like to make sure that they go to university, they have a fund, they have this, they have that, and then you have to go about the strategy and the objectives and the resources and who's going to help you and who's not going to help you and how long it takes, right? And education and all that. So my goals were very simple and very clear. 3 goals. I said I need to work on my education and I need to get a PhD. That was the first thing when the divorce happened. I said, I'm going to have a PhD. Just for myself, right? To prove that I'm not only going to achieve a good education, but I'm going to achieve a highest degree. I just want you to understand that. I told you that last time. Highest degree. In my head, I may not get the PhD, right? But I'm having that as a goal. And alhamdulillah, I got it within 3 years. 3.5. Then I said, okay, I have to, that's number 1. Plus education, طبعا, learning another language, learning this, educating myself about about, you know, finances, educating myself about it. So education was going, yeah. But the highest, the peak, the highlight of that education is what? PhD. I have that in my head. Not because PhD, no, I just wanted something to be the light, like something, you know, like what they call it, the police, you know, emergency light. Like something that I'm looking at it blinking in front of me, making me uncomfortable all the time until I achieve as much as I can. If I achieve that one, it's great. You know, those who go to what they call it, the Iron Man or whatever, you know, this thing. There is a thing that they hit at the end, right? They want to hit that thing. It's not about hitting that thing. It's about reaching there. And everyone, their eye on achieving that. But whatever they achieve is a success, isn't it? Them entering the race is a success. And that's what I told myself. In relationship, I'm going to pay attention to my children, to my parents, to my siblings, and I'm going to increase the way I communicate with them. Because I lost one relationship now, I need to reinforce other relationships. It's like somebody lost their eye, their hearing becomes very sharp, yeah? Their sense becomes very sharp. Their cane becomes very sensitive, yeah? So this is the rest of my body. So one part of my body left, so I'm going to have that, right? So I will focus on this. And with my community, the start of all of that is not letting this thing affect my performance in the masjid. And I was laughing with people, I was joking, I was giving khutbahs, I was doing things exactly the same, if not sometimes even more. And I might be crying outside, but when I come here, I said, I'm going to work on my relationship. This is going to bring me stronger. I'm not going to be depressed, and then my performance goes down, then I become more depressed, then my family becomes down, then I'm more depressed, you know? It's not going to go anywhere. I need to go the opposite way. The opposite way. I come to this jama'ah give me strength. So when I'm alone, I'm strong. I'm a community strong. You know, 100 people strong. Right? And the third one is my health. So I'm going to start going to the gym, I'm going to go exercise, I'm going to watch my food, and I'm going to have healthy habits. And I'm going to have my mind also healthy. Start researching and thinking about things, taking classes and courses about empowerment and all of this. Read more Quran, you know. Do more dhikr to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Do fasting, do tahajjud more. And those things helped a lot to achieve goals. So achieving goals, beside doing, go to Google and say, what are goals? They will tell you a goal is such and such. Write it down. And then you'll say how to set goals, and you will write it down. How to achieve goals, and write it down. You're going to have like a nice sheet, one sheet or two. Then go and say how to set goals. This is what a goal is. Then you said, okay, for me this is that, so that is my goal. Write it down. How to make this as a goal. Make sure that is achievable. Make sure it is done. Make sure, you know, all of that applies. Okay, now that's the strategy. Make it objective. So write down. So go learn and put it down. Put it down on your case. Don't read just information like grammar. Put it down on your case. You don't have to be going through divorce. Just do that. Can we do that, inshallah? Just do that. And choose a small goal. Try in it first. Something to achieve within a week. Then something to achieve within a month. Then something to achieve within a year. On your own personal level, on family level, your education, for your religion. Say, I am going to learn the section of Salah according to the 4 madhab. مثلا يعني. I'm just giving you an example. I'm going to learn the section of Salah, simple fiqh, according to 4 madhab. What is your first step, Sheikh? What would be the good book to do that? Yeah? So go do it and give yourself a timeline and study it. And then come at the end of the year, said, Sheikh, I studied, please test me. You achieved something. You see? One thing for a week. Say, in this week, I'm going to achieve that. By next weekend, I'm achieving that. Next month, I'm achieving that. With myself, with my children, with my spouse and everything. I hope I benefited you tonight for how, from a personal experience, how I feel one of my major, what do you think, and think a little bit before, what do you think my biggest achievement from all of what you heard last week and this week? Don't tell me PhD. That's the least. Self-discipline. Thank you. But there is something more than that.
You didn't stop.
Huh?
You didn't stop.
I did not stop. What else? Remember what Brother Faiz said?
Spirit is confidence.
You stayed focused.
I had the courage to share it with you. I had the courage to speak about my own shortcomings. See? I had the courage to speak about my shortcomings to you. Why? Because I saw the benefit of me sharing is way more than the benefit of me hiding. Me hiding is my personal thing. I'm not going to talk like that, you know. But me sharing, it opens people's eyes. We have an example in front of us who went through that experience and he is successful. You know? Not judging anyone. I did not point fingers to anyone. My ex is the mother of my children. Alhamdulillah. Good relationship. And I wish the best. And not necessarily I'm having a personal relationship, but it's done. What is done is done. So I want you to think like that. And I want to every husband and wife, don't take your life for granted. Don't. Each and every one of the community has the possibility of getting divorced. I want you to think about that. Don't take your wife for granted. Don't take your husband for granted. And you know what is the worst thing? The worst thing is that you're living in a marriage because you are threatened. واخد بالك معايا دكتور يعني واخدين بالكم يا اخوان you see what I'm saying? You are threatened. I'm threatened to lose $1 million. I'm afraid to lose $1 million. That's why I'm staying in this marriage. Not worth it. Trust me, it's not worth it. Your well-being is way more expensive than that. 1 hour of happiness with Allah Azza wa Jalla and being functional member of the community is way more than the money that you made all your life. I know it is hard to say, but this is somebody who went through, right? So don't think, because if you did not go through divorce, may Allah did not make you go through divorce, but if you're concerned, you are staying into the marriage because you are afraid of a financial loss, you're a loser already. You already lost. And if it's a sister, she is staying in the marriage because she knows her husband will not divorce her because he's afraid of the money, she's also a loser. This one, you don't have his heart. Is that the marriage that you want? You want somebody to stay with you because he's scared if you take him to the court what he's going to lose? That's why he's staying with you. Is this your self-worth? That's my question, you know. Those are hard to ask questions. Is your self-worth that you need a physical male sitting there scared to divorce you because you're going to take half of his wealth? That's why he's staying with you. Oh, I am happy now. Is this the husband you're looking for? You don't have his heart? Is this what it is, yani? And for a husband, oh no, I don't want to divorce. I'm miserable. I want to, but I cannot because I'm going to lose all my savings and everything. So that's something for you to think about, inshallah. All right? Marriage is very important. Take care of your marriage. Learn the things I told you about today. Set your goals straight, right? Find the help, professional help, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala above all will help you, inshallah Rabbil Alameen. Marriage is an amazing thing. It's a great institution. Keep it. Hold to it. Invest in it. Serve it. Serve your marriage, right? Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Stay there. Learn. And through education, you're going to achieve lots of good things, inshallah. Sallallahu sallam wa barak. على سيدنا محمد والحمد لله رب العالمين وجزاكم الله خيرا.